This is the Brewers POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Milwaukee Brewers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Back-to-back beatdowns, belt to the backside for our Milwaukee Brewers, flexing their home run power tonight. 3 of them, to be exact, including a statement victory and now 1 win away from sweeping the Chicago Cubs right out of the NLDS with a 7-3 win this evening. Hello, everyone, and welcome into the Locked On Brewers POSTCAST victorious edition. As always, my name is Brandon Snide. You can follow me on X, formerly Twitter, at Brandon_Snide. Quick, friendly reminder, we are available wherever you guys get audio podcasts. That's right, Apple, Google, Spotify, Amazon, wherever you guys get audio podcasts, you can get the Locked On Brewers POSTCAST. We are also over on YouTube, where hundreds of you are already lined up on the YouTube chat. We will get to your thoughts. We will get to your reactions. You damn right we'll get to your celebrations tonight after a 7-3 victorious Game 2 for our Milwaukee Brewers against those Chicago Cubs. We'll discuss this bullpen, man. A gamble by Pat Murphy, and it pays off. We'll talk about that. A response from this Brewers. How many times have we talked about the Brewers responding to adversity? It feels like every day we've talked about it on this show. We'll talk about that. And Jackson freaking Chourio is that dude, and he is making the world find out on the national stage. We'll discuss his performance. We weren't even sure if we were going to see him tonight, but we will certainly talk about what Jackson Chourio was able to do tonight for our Milwaukee Brewers. A fantastic victory. And so much to get to. We'll discuss the turning point, player of the game, and the things you'll be talking about tomorrow. And as I mentioned, I better see your celebrations lined up on the live YouTube chat. We'll get into your thoughts as well. Let's get in quickly, though. Let's get this thing rolling here. Let's talk about, if you can't tell by now, guys, my voice is a little bit going after, we'll discuss after one of these home runs. I almost lost, my cool in the house and was running around screaming. We'll talk about that as the show rolls on, but we'll get into your scoring summary this evening, which is brought to you by Monarch Money and FanDuel right away. Once again, deja vu, bam. The Brewers, Aaron Ashby getting the start, a quote-unquote opener for Pat Murphy, who announced that on Sunday. So it was no surprise this evening when Aaron Ashby went out there for the Milwaukee Brewers, getting the start, walks a guy, gets a Nico Horner with a single to right field, would get guys on first and second, and Seiya Suzuki, without a doubt, 440 feet to left center, quickly gave the Chicago Cubs a 3-0 lead. And that, ladies and gentlemen, will bring us to our turning point, because that 3-0 Chicago lead lasted about 8 minutes.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Andrew Vaughn for our Milwaukee Brewers. It's simply amazing. After Contreras and Yelich hit, got them guys on first and second in the first inning. 2 outs, keep in mind. 2 outs when Andrew Vaughn came up to the plate, 382 feet right away. Snapped the Brewers right back into this game, down 3. Before you know it, before the first inning ends, 6 total runs are crossing the plate combined for both teams, and Andrew Vaughn tying this game. And I put that as the turning point. Yeah, the game was tied at that point. That's the response this team needed. That was it right there. That was so desperately needed off of the bat of Andrew Vaughn. That was his first home run, guys, since August 15th. He's been great. Andrew Vaughn's been great. He's been hitting the ball. He's been making great contact. But that was his first home run since August 15th. Can you find a bigger one throughout the course of the season than that one right there? I don't know if the Brewers, they may eventually get, they did score more runs, obviously 4 more to be exact, after that 3-run home run. But it was like the Michael Busch home run in Game 1. And you and I sat here and we talked about it. Man, Michael Busch leads off. But what did the Brewers do right away after he led off that game with a home run? Jackson Chourio with a double. Bryce Terrain with a double. William Contreras with a double. They grabbed the momentum right back, and they snagged it right away and took it back from the Chicago Cubs. And that is exactly what Andrew Vaughn did there in the bottom half of the first inning. And he was man, that felt so good for Andrew Vaughn. And he was maybe the most emotion I've seen out of Andrew Vaughn this season. That one off of Shota Imanaga, who get the start for the Cubs. He didn't last long in this one, 2 2/3 innings pitched. That would be a clean second inning for both of these teams. The third inning, when the game was tied at 3 apiece, I know Jackson Chourio has been great. William Contreras is right behind him at the plate these first 2 games of the NLDS against the Chicago Cubs. William Contreras with a 4-11 absolute laser to left field to give the Brewers a 4-3 advantage. William Contreras tonight, 2 for 4, has been hitting the lights out of the ball, right? We talked about the double just in game 1 where he traded places there with Bryce Terrain to get the Brewers in the lead for game 1, and game 2 gives the Brewers the lead right there again in the bottom half of the third inning. The Brewers going through a bullpen game, which we'll talk about it, but it's going to pay off tremendously for this Brewers team. So we saw Aaron Ashby for an inning and 2/3. We saw Nick Mears come in and get an out in that second inning. Jacob Mizorowski, 3 innings pitched for our Milwaukee Brewers. Put a pin in that because we're going to talk about that. That would bring us to the fourth inning. Nothing for the Cubs in the top half of the fourth. And then Jackson Chourio, man. I'm running out of words, descriptions, adjectives, you name it. Feelings of I just don't know. He just keeps defying everything about what we thought his game was. He just keeps taking it to another level. We didn't think after leaving the game in the second inning, after going 3 for 3 and setting a postseason record for 3 hits in his first 2 innings of a postseason game, after he left with hamstring tightness, we didn't know if we'd ever see him in the postseason again. And here he is, taking the ball to the deepest part of the ballpark, 419 feet, giving the Brewers a 7-3 lead after a couple of hits from Caleb Durbin and Joey Ortiz. Caleb Durbin, I believe, was hit by a pitch actually in that inning, but Joey Ortiz also had a knock in that inning as well. And Jackson Chourio would bring all 3 of them home, giving them the 7-3 advantage. And that would be all they need. We mentioned Jacob Mizorowski, Chad Patrick out of the bullpen for our Milwaukee Brewers with a clean inning. Jared Koenig, 1 1/3, looked phenomenal this evening. Trevor McGill, 2/3 of an inning. Phenomenal. Abner Uribe shutting the side down in the top of the 9th, striking everybody out. An absolutely clinic tonight for our Milwaukee Brewers. There is still so much to get to. We are going to get to your thoughts. We're going to get to your reaction. We're going to get to the gamble from manager Pat Murphy that paid off right after we get to this. Today's Locked On Brewers postcast is brought to you by FanDuel. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel has an offer you do not want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. You pick a bet, you put down $5, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Whether you're a casual fan or if you like diving into the stats, FanDuel makes the game day experience so much better. A ton of close games this week. FanDuel definitely had everybody on the edge of their seats. So what are you waiting for? Place that first $5 bet. If it wins, you get $300 in bonus bets. Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today to get started. Once again, FanDuel.com. Today's victorious Locked On Brewers postcast is also brought to you by our wonderful friends over at Monarch Money. Most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, or investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. That's where Monarch Money comes in. All-in-one personal finance tool that brings you your entire financial life together in one clean, one easy-to-use interface on your laptop or on your phone. It's built for people, if you're like me, with busy lives. If you put off your organizing your finances, Monarch Money is for you. It does all the heavy lifting. You can link all of your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. Don't let this financial opportunity slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. Once again, that's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com when you use code LOCKEDONMLB. Couple of home runs, a few home runs, I should say, 3 to be exact, for our Milwaukee Brewers. Andrew Vaughn with a 3-run shot. William Contreras with a solo shot. Jackson Chourio with a 3-run shot. When everybody in the national media that hasn't watched the Brewers for more than one inning has said, I don't know if this team can keep it up. Yes, I'm talking to you, Ron Darling. The Milwaukee Brewers show up and show out. 7-3 victory this evening. And it was done off of the bat of the Brewers once again, and getting a ton of help out of their bullpen. Again, we mentioned the bullpen. We mentioned a couple of names out of that bullpen. We also mentioned a couple of names in the offensive side of the thing. Without further ado, after a 7-3 win, your Locked On Brewers Postcast player of the game.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
All right, guys, just like game one, when you win like this, you're going to have two. It's okay. 1A, 1B. We're victorious. We're happy. The Brewers are 1 win away from the NLCS. They're 1 win away from sweeping the Chicago Cubs, which will have their opportunity in a few days. We have 2 Locked On Brewers Postcast player of the game. Where would this team be without Jackson Chourio? In so many ways, right? What he brought in game 1. Game 2, the Brewers were up 4-3 when Jackson Chourio came to the plate. We didn't think we were going to see this guy again. There was a chance, there was a side of doubt. I said it after the game on Saturday that I'd be surprised if we saw him in game 2. He toughed it out. He's obviously not 100%. A 3-run home run, 419 feet to the deepest part of the park. I think Pete Crow Armstrong is still trying to pick himself up after trying to dive for that ball over the wall. That was 45 feet short. But without that, enough of that. But Jackson Chourio tonight, once again, just absolutely fantastic at the plate. You can tell that he has turned it up to another level. The lights are just not too bright for Jackson Chourio. 2 for 4 this evening, 3 runs batted in. Obviously, the 3 runs there coming with that shot to center field. And 1B, I am going to raise my hand and tell you all 500 of you currently watching this show, I was wrong happily about Jacob Misiorowski on this roster. I said there was a chance I wouldn't put him on it. I said if he is on it, I wouldn't put him in a tight situation. Where would this team be tonight? And who knows? Maybe somebody else. Chad Patrick was fantastic tonight too, but Jacob Misiorowski in his first playoff appearance, guys, gets the win. 3 innings pitched this evening, 4 strikeouts for Jacob Misiorowski, 57 total pitches thrown for the Miz in his playoff debut. Here's a couple of stats too. This is courtesy of Kurt Hogue for the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. Jacob Misiorowski's 31 pitches at 100 or more miles per hour tonight are the most by any pitcher not named Hunter Green or Jacob deGrom in the pitch tracking era, which began in 2008. Guys, he pitched 3 innings. 3 innings, had 31 pitches over 100 miles per hour. A couple of them hitting 103, over 104. I mean, you could tell he was amped up. He gets the ground ball from the mound, runs it all the way to first, is amped up. I know Cubs fans like to make fun of him. Jacob Misiorowski plays the game how we all are sitting in our living rooms watching this game. And there is nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. So shout out to Jackson Chourio tonight. Once again, what more can you say about Jackson Chourio? Jacob Misiorowski, 3 scoreless innings out of the bullpen. Aaron Ashby got the opener start, right? 1 2/3. Not the start for Aaron Ashby that I think Pat Murphy would tell you he had drawn up when he gives a 3-run home run to Seiya Suzuki and finds, puts the Brewers in a 3-run hole early in this game. But the bullpen, as we went through, it was a bullpen game for the Brewers, and it paid off in so many ways. And it eventually turned in to a bullpen game for the Cubs. Colin Ray, helping out the bullpen, but Shota for the Cubs gets the start. He only goes 2 2/3. Palencia out of the bullpen pitched an inning. Daniel Pomerantz out of the Cubs bullpen pitched an inning. Colin Ray finished the last 3 1/3. So the Cubs, not preparing for a bullpen game, sort of turned into a semi-bullpen game for the Cubs. That should bode well for the Brewers on Wednesday. The Brewers had this penned in for a bullpen day. We thought maybe Quinn Priester would get the start. I said today, I have a feeling this could turn into a bullpen start because Quinn Priester is a fly ball pitcher. The Cubs notoriously hit the sinker and the fastball pretty well. He started at Wrigley Field. Quinn Priester, he's already started at Wrigley Field this year. He's won at Wrigley this year. He's from the Chicago area. He's got family and friends there. Remember, his grandma baked chocolate chip cookies for the team ahead of that fight. He was pitched in one of those 5 games at Wrigley Field in August. So he's familiar a little bit with that area. He's been one loss since middle of May. Quinn Priester has. The Brewers at one point won 19 straight games that he started or appeared in. So it felt like they might go bullpen here, and it helps with the off day on Tuesday. You can kind of reset some of these guys, right? Trevor McGill only went 2/3 of an inning. Chad Patrick was fantastic this evening. 1 inning, 2 strikeouts. You could probably see him again. Abner Uribe, who, only 1 inning, but the way that this team was able to get that rest for that bye week, obviously having the off day on Sunday also helps. And now you have an off day tomorrow ahead of Wednesday's game 3. So a gamble by Pat Murphy in the sense that if it didn't work out, it might be a move where you look back in hindsight, 2020, you're like, man, should have did this or should have done that. But now you have Quinn Priester and Jose Quintana, you guys, lined up for a closeout game at Wrigley Field. You could not have drawn it up any better than what Pat Murphy did. And again, part of the reason he got player of the game is Jacob Mizorowski for holding it down for those 3 innings and what he was able to do. Obviously, the numbers I read off, touching the miles per hour on those fastballs, but being able to hone in the moment, right? It's an emotional game, an emotional series, and I thought he was fantastic. The things you'll be talking about tomorrow after a 7-3 Game 2 win.
This is what you'll be talking about.
This is it, guys. Everybody has said this Brewers team can't do this. You can't win like that. You can't win like this. You can't win with small ball. You can't win without hitting home runs. 3 homers, 1 message. Tonight, the Brewers on the national stage did what everybody said they couldn't do. Is it sustainable? Who knows? I don't know. I'm done. I think I told you guys in August. It might have been July. I'm done doubting this baseball team. I'm done doubting them. And I'm not, and I think most people should be. At what point do we just chalk this team up? And I know a lot of you and our everydayers, including myself, we're not doubting this team. This message is for the people that just decided to cover this team this week, that just started watching this Milwaukee Brewers team. I don't know if they can win. I don't know if they can win without hitting home runs. Well, William Contreras, Andrew Vaughn, Jackson Trio showed you tonight that they can. All of their runs tonight coming on home runs, guys. And oh, by the way, all of those home runs coming with 2 outs. Absolutely fantastic performance tonight at the plate. Clutch performance tonight at the plate. This team can beat you in every single way. They just showed you 2 ways that they can beat you. Their bullpen dominated this evening. They retired 15 straight Cubs hitters. Cubs had one of the best offenses in baseball in the regular season. Cubs won 90 games, 92 games to be exact. Still a really good team. And the Brewers won with their bullpen this evening. The Brewers won by hitting home runs when people said they couldn't hit home runs because they didn't do it enough in the regular season. I'm done doubting this team. They sent a message tonight. People that continue to doubt this team, and I know everydayers, I know you Brewers fans, I know you're not. This message isn't directly for you. Keep doubting this team if you want. They're going to continue to prove you wrong. And that includes tonight with a 7-3 win over the Cubs in Game 2. Take the first 2 games of this series. Let's get into your thoughts, your reactions after the Brewers dominate the Cubs once again. We begin with Tom. These 2 games show that the baseball experts still don't comprehend what the crew can do. 9 runs with no homers, a win. 7 runs with 3 homers, a win. Don't forget the pitching and the defense. Go Brewers. I couldn't have said it any better than you, Tom. That is an absolutely fantastic comment. That kind of reiterates exactly what I was talking about, but you put it so better than I did. Everyday or woodworking outdoorsman Ron Darling and the home plate umpire were horrible. Yes and yes. Mike Estabrook behind the plate. I don't know. I have no idea, and it's for both sides. It was absolutely awful tonight. I have no idea what he was doing behind the plate. Dominic, let's not forget about Jackson Trio. Had a great defensive game as well. A bunch of clean catches in the outfield. He certainly did. Every out in the postseason counts. Every single out. Him on a not so good hamstring running to that outfield fence, or I should say the left field, the out of bound, the foul territory, I should say. Being able to go up against that screen against the fence and be able to grab that ball late in that game. I think it was the 6th inning, maybe the 7th, but getting those outs are what matters. And that's what he did tonight for the Milwaukee Brewers, and obviously what he has done all season long, including hitting the long ball tonight. MC Lee over on YouTube, it forces the Cubs to waste guys off the bench early, gives Priester an opportunity to pitch later in the game. Isaiah over on YouTube, Priester, Gasser, McGill, Uribe, that's the crew in Wednesday's closeout. And that's the thing, man. I absolutely love that. Like, you're getting guy, right? Like, and if all else fails, like, right, you got Jose Quintana as your kind of, break glass in case of emergency, that is able to kind of be a veteran who's been there, done that, has seen these things and can go out there and perform and be able to get guys out in a pinch. So it's once again, this team right now you could not have drawn up a better first 2 games of a series. You just could not have drawn up a better scenario. The Brewers are set up to be perfect right now going into game 3. Everydayer Charles, twice they take a punch in the first to come back with a knockout of their own and close it out with striking out the side. Priceless. It again, every time this team gets knocked down, we have talked about it all year long. They get knocked down, they get punched in the jaw, they stand up and go right back to work, and they grab the momentum back again and again, 2 times. And these 2 times, the biggest of the year. Obviously, you go down 1-0 in game 1. You go down 3-0 in game 1, and we're talking about the Milwaukee Brewers winning 9-3 and 7-3. Chuck over on YouTube, honorable mention for player of the game, William Contreras. I mentioned his name. The dude has just been so freaking good, man. I mean, so like when he's up to bat, I think he has an opportunity. I mean, I feel like that most times, but lately over the last, really, I know he didn't play like a week or so in the regular season, but he was hitting before he ended, his regular season. He was making really, really good contact with the ball. So I feel super good about William Contreras going forward. I feel super good, obviously, about Jackson Chourio. Christian Yelich tonight, 3 for 4. Don't sleep on Christian Yelich, guys, either. Christian Yelich tonight, 3 for 4. If he gets going, we already saw Andrew Vaughn with a big shot in that first inning. Joey Ortiz tonight, guys, 2 for 4. Joey Ortiz tonight was phenomenal. Game 1 was also phenomenal, right? Had a couple of walks, and then tonight had a couple of hits. So this stuff is starting to really, really line up for the Brewers to be able to close out the Cubs. Dan over on YouTube, no doubts indeed. Even Ortiz getting a couple knocks tonight is encouraging. Full confidence in Uribe is nice, and it's nice for Uribe because when that dude is confident on the mound, he's got some of the nastiest stuff, right? That we'll see in baseball. And you guys know, you everydayers that have been with me all year long know how much I love Abner Uribe. And when he's pitching confidently and he has the slider working, and I'm telling you now, look out. Glory Days Sports Consulting, Game 3 Priester with the start, Quintana and Peralta, depending on how things go, or Quintana then Priester. Opener, he says Chad Patrick. Either way, bats need to stay alive. Bats do need to stay alive. I don't see a reason why they're going to slow down, right? Again, I'm not doubting this team any longer. They have proven me happily all year long. They have proven me wrong. So I will take it. The bats do need to continue. I think they will. And again, Murphy has a couple of ways that he can approach Game 3. It sets up nicely for this Brewers team. That'll do it for tonight's show, guys. I could talk to you for like another 2 more hours. I'm so amped up, ready to run through a wall at almost midnight here in Milwaukee, but I cannot thank you. So many of you, over 500 of you at one time, were sitting here watching the Locked On Brewers postcast. I cannot thank you enough for you guys for tuning in and making this what it is. Thank you. Obviously, it helps when the Brewers get a 7-3 Game 2 NLDS victory, but my thanks go out to each and every one of you. Thank you. If you guys missed any part of the show or you want to get caught back up, we are free and available wherever you guys get audio podcasts, and we are also free and available over on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button for me. Smash that like button for me. Do me a solid. Hit the notification bell. Get notified when we go live, and you bet your bottom dollar we will go live on Wednesday after Game 3, after hopefully the Brewers close things out against the Cubs at Wrigley Field. We'll talk about it. My name is Brandon Snide, I should say. You can follow me on X, formerly Twitter, at Brandon_Snide, and we will talk again on Wednesday. And as always, as it's been all year long, but man, I'd be lying to you if it hasn't felt extra special to talk about 2 wins over the Cubs in the postseason. It is always go Brewers. Have a good one, everyone. Talk to you on Wednesday. See you.